What's up, Dragon Brood? It is, I don't know, Saturday, January 9th. Today is our fifth video in a row of the Kaldheim preview. So, by the way, if you haven't seen the other four, check out the other four for sure. Please, I would appreciate it. But we're going to get into a pretty short video today. There weren't a lot. I think on Saturday and Sunday, we don't get a lot of cards. So this should be a pretty short video. But you know what? I'm going to still cover the highlights of what I saw around the internet that got previewed today. Also, if you haven't, please consider liking this video so more people will see it, hitting the subscribe button so you can help us reach our 10,000 subscribers by February 1st. We are very, very close. We're getting close to 300 people needed. And remember to hit that notification bell so as my other review videos go up, you'll get notified of it. But for now, let's go look at some more Kaldheim cards. All right, starting at the top here, we've got Quakebringer, which is a 3-colorless red giant berserker 5/4. So sizable stats, not bad. Your opponents can't gain life. That's a thing. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Quakebringer Quakebringer deals 2 damage to each opponent, this ability triggers only if it's on the battlefield or it's in your graveyard and you control a giant. It does have Foretell, which means you could set it aside for 2 and then play it for 4 later. This is a cool card. I think it falls into that same problem though, where like a lot of the giant stuff is going to be expensive. So it's going to be a matter of what mana things are we able to play alongside giants. You also have a weird spot where giants are blue and red, and the best things for producing mana are going to be green, right? So what does that look like? Don't know. Maybe you're splashing green, or maybe playing green, splashing the red and blue. But I'm sure there's going to be some other stuff that comes out here in the next couple of days that'll clear some of that up. Just as for the card quality itself, if you're playing giants, I think this one's definitely playable. This is one that's called Search for Glory. It's 2 colorless and a white. Snow sorcery. Search your library for a snow card, legendary card, or saga. Reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library, gain 1 life for each snow mana spent on the card. This will probably have a home, but it's very specific, so not super high about it, but it kind of makes sense. It's a really nice tutor for the decks that'll want to play it. Rally the Ranks. 1 colorless, 1 white. Enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Those creatures get +1/+1. Not sure what else to make out of this. We've had some cards kind of like this before. They don't tend to make a huge splash. They're just kind of okay, but they're not bad. Maybe there's certain decks that want this. I don't know, but it's one to just keep your eye on if you're one of those brewers that's looking a way to boost up some creatures. Maybe even tokens. Reckless Crew. 3 colorless, red, sorcery. Create X. 2/1 red dwarf berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of vehicles you control plus the number of equipment you control, and then you can attach any equipment to them. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you're building the right deck and you're already playing a lot of equipment and a lot of vehicles, then this sort of makes sense, right? Like you just play it, get some free creatures. But I feel like, again, it's one of those cards that's nice, but you're going to have to build around it to justify playing even this one card. And I'm not even sure how many you would put into a deck. So not high rank, but for the deck that wants it, it's probably going to be a pretty cool card. And possibly even a good surprise card, depending on what equipment or vehicles you have out. When I see this card, I just want to go hype, because that's all it was all over the internet. And I'm like, I don't know, you could hide a counterspell. Like, it's fine. It's good, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm playing on the other side of spell counters. I'm not really sure what to make of this. Like, yeah, sometimes your opponents just have the thing that counters your thing anyway, whether it's a negate or an essence scatter or whatever, but now you can counter anything for 2, which I guess is a thing, but you also have to spend mana ahead of time to do it. So yeah, it's a good card. It's definitely going to get played. I'm just not sure if it's hype worthy, I guess. Asika's Chariot, 3 colorless and a green. Legendary artifact vehicle. It can be turned into a 4/4. When the chariot enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 green cat creature tokens. Whenever the chariot attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. So this is actually kind of a cool card, right? It comes in with its own 2/2 cats, which are enough to accrue it, which is cool because it accrues for 4. It can attack and make you another cat, or something else, if you have something else that's a token. But honestly, the real power of this card, I mean, is the art. Check that out. Like, seriously, it's like some cats hanging around in a chariot. Like, it's cool. Like, that's cool. Sweet art there. But yeah, the card actually might be playable, truthfully. I mean, I could see some aggro decks that would play this. One, just to be able to, okay, cool, play a thing, make 2/2/2s. But, you know, post sweeper, it's that thing where you have a 4/4 that's still on the table. Maybe you can find a creature on a late turn, crew this thing, attack, maybe make another token. So it's got some applications. Again, I don't know how big. We'll have to really see how things shake up. It is legendary, so you don't want a whole bunch of them anyway, so maybe it's a one or two of in some lists. Forging the Tieright sword. I don't think we talked about this one previously. Colorless red white. Create a treasure token in chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 3, search your library for a card named Halvar, God of Battle, or an equipment card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. So this is kind of different, right? Like if you're playing something that needs treasure tokens, obviously you can play this. And then late game, you're like, well, the worst case scenario, you already have the mana to cast whatever it is you find, whether it's a big equipment or just finding Halvar. So that is pretty cool. It's a cool, like, yeah, I don't know. It's that middle stretch of the game where you're just trying to like get some cards to get you to your next big thing. Maybe even you want some extra mana so you can play 2 spells on like turn 5 or turn 6. So lots of little things going on with this card that are kind of neat, but so far I've kind of enjoyed all the sagas, really. Speaking of, here's another. The Trickster God's Heist. 2 colorless, blue-black, also a saga. Chapter 1, you may exchange control of 2 target creatures. Super annoying for 4 mana, but hey, it's a thing. You may exchange control of 2 target non-basic, non-creature permanents that share a card type. So then again, you may swap a couple more things. And then in chapter 3, target player loses 3 life, you gain 3 life. So chapter 3 is like the least annoying of all of it. However, it is a bit ominous that you know you have that 3 life drain coming for a couple of turns. So this is another card I think you're going to see quite a lot of. You know, even you may not see so much of it in, say, some of the control matchups, but it could be good in control versus control. Maybe in scenarios where you might swap, I don't know, Maze Mind Tomes when one's about to crack, but you want more value or something. I don't know, but there's definitely feels like there's going to be some homes for this that could be very neat. Vega the Watcher, colorless, white, blue, legendary creature, bird, spirit, 2/2, flying. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. Yeah, this card's actually pretty solid. I could see this card being useful in older formats, whether we're talking about historic, pioneer, modern, where you have a bunch of combos where you're playing stuff out of the yard, stuff like Hole Breach, the recent combos where you're playing like the Mox Ambers out of the graveyard, doing that whole thing. Like you could end up with a lot of extra cards, and you're probably likely to not fizzle out in the middle of a combo because you're going to have 5, 6, 7 extra cards for every rotation, full rotation of things you're doing. So yeah, it's very possible you could end up using this in that way. Outside of those factors, maybe if there's some like standard legal foretell heavy build, could be kind of neat. But I'm not so much looking at that. I think this has more weight in older formats. Replicating Ring, 3 colorless, snow artifact. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on Replicating Ring. Then if it has 8 or more night counters on it, remove all of them and create 8 colorless snow artifact tokens named Replicated Ring with the ability to tap, add 1 mana of any color. This is kind of a weird card. I'm assuming it's to meet something in the story or mimic something in actual legend. So that's neat, I guess, but it's cool in the sense that it is 3 mana, taps for any color, and that seems to be the thing we've seen lately. There's a few artifacts that cost 3, tap, give you any color, or tap and give you mana. That seems to be kind of the baseline standard, or the baseline text for standard these days when you're talking about getting mana from artifacts. However, if it does sit on the table for several turns, you end up with a lot of mana. Now, is there anything you can do with that? I don't know. Can you get to the mana faster? Yes, there's ways to double counters being put on cards, or that many +1, and that could be good. Generally speaking, this is probably maybe something you want to play in a few decks if you're playing 3 or 4 colors and they're a bit slower. However, you do have the Skyclave one that you can just pay 6 and kick it and get 2 more copies, so probably not a lot of room for this card, but I wouldn't turn my nose up at it too quickly. Alright, I told you it was kind of a short one today. Weren't a lot of cards to cover there, but I think that's going to do it for us. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button to help us reach our 10,000 subscribers, please. We're so close. And remember to hit the notification bell so that way you get notified every time the rest of the review video's up, so you don't miss them going into next season. Also, at the end of all this, I'll probably do a couple of streams, one on YouTube, one on Twitch, that'll just tell everybody about different cards. You can come ask questions about some of the commons and uncommons that I'm not covering in the videos. So just trying to figure out when I'm going to lay those out, but definitely something I want to do. But otherwise, that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.